welcome back to another video, and today we're here for another severe weather breakdown. Now today, we're going to be talking about this ongoing severe weather outbreak that's bringing damaging winds, large hail, and even a few tornadoes to a certain portion of the United States. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, where we have two slight risks of severe weather, one of them being centered across portions of the south-central United States, and the other being centered across portions of the Midwest. Tornado threat for today. If you're in that brown area, you have a 5% chance to see a tornado in your town. Alright, that's for areas like Wichita Falls, up towards Fort Sill, almost out towards Amarillo. Damaging wind threat for today. If you're in either of those yellow areas, you have a 15% chance to see wind gusts 60 miles per hour or higher in your town. That goes from Jackson, Mississippi, close out towards areas like Fort Sill and Woodward, Oklahoma. And then our one in the Midwest includes areas like Milwaukee and areas to the west of that. Hail threat for today. If you're in either of those yellow areas, you have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger in your town. And if you're inside of that black circle there, that is at least a 10% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger in your town, which is large destructive hail. So areas like Fort Sill, Wichita Falls, you got to look out for that hail risk today. We will be live later covering severe weather, mainly for the large hail threat, but also for some damaging winds and tornadoes. Now, moving on to tomorrow, we have a slight risk of severe weather for portions of the Midwest here. Tornado threat for tomorrow. If you're in that green area, you have a 2% chance to see a tornado in your town. That goes from Wichita almost close to areas to the north of Des Moines there. Damaging wind threat for tomorrow. If you're in that yellow area, you have a 15% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your town. That goes from Kansas City all the way back up to Minneapolis. And then the hail threat for tomorrow. If you're in that yellow area, you have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger in your town, which is a very similar shape there to our damaging wind risk. Now, I have a pretty bold prediction here. I'm going to say this is going to get upgraded to an enhanced risk for portions of Iowa, Nebraska, and potentially southern Minnesota here, as I do think we're going to get a line of storms that's going to have the threat to produce very damaging to even destructive winds. So I think we're going to get an enhanced risk of severe weather driven by winds and maybe hail tomorrow, okay? So anyway, moving on to what the models are showing for the next few days here, we can see right now we got quite a bit of convection out there in areas like Oklahoma, maybe far southeastern portions of Kansas there. But if we take it into later this evening, we can kind of start to see our severe weather events start to unfold here in portions of North Texas and southern Oklahoma around 8 p.m. We kind of see this little line of storms develop across parts of southern Oklahoma that could bring the threat for some damaging winds and potentially some large to very large hail. We can also see some of our storms up in Wisconsin. Nothing too crazy though, until we get into the later evening time hours where we see this big time bow echo shape develop across parts of northeast Texas in southeastern Oklahoma here. That's definitely going to promote the threat for some damaging winds and again maybe some large hail and an isolated tornado threat. But once we get to about 5 a.m. tonight, we're not expecting anything for that area, right? So moving on to tomorrow here, all right, we can already start to see that severe weather threat develop around 4 p.m. across portions of the Tennessee and Ohio Valley. We've got scattered storms across Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way up through Indiana and Illinois here. And we can also see our big-time line of storms up in Minnesota, which, again, is going to promote the threat for some damaging winds. But you can really see that kind of stretch down all the way back into northeastern Kansas here as we go into about tomorrow evening around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., all right, 11. This is going to be an overnight threat here for portions of eastern Iowa, where again, we could be talking about widespread damaging winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour here, okay? So going into Wednesday, we're really not expecting too much. We really don't have much of a severe weather risk. However, we could see some spotty showers and thunderstorms across parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas there. So finally, watches, warnings, and advisories. Those pink boxes there, those are your excessive heat warnings. We already have excessive heat warnings in effect for parts of California, Nevada, and Arizona, and historically, these will continue to spread eastward, and some will also start to poke out of southern Texas, southern Florida, and then by July, usually we have a good chunk of the country covered in them, so we'll watch how those progress. Again, we're talking about temperatures ranging from anywhere from 100 degrees to 110 degrees for highs in those pink boxes. Those dark red boxes, those are your excessive heat watches. That means that we could see some super high temperatures and heat indexes, but it's not going to be for another several days, most likely. And then the orange shaded boxes are your heat advisory. So basically the same thing as an excessive heat warning, but a little bit less extreme. Still could see some spots get temperatures from 100 to 105 degrees maybe, okay? So look out for that. That orange little box there in eastern Oklahoma, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. We have a little line of storms kind of sweeping through eastern Oklahoma, starting to move into western Arkansas as we record this video here. But other than that, pretty calm right now. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.